Good evening. Arsenal and Manchester United are England's two most successful clubs of recent years, but what a torrid week it's been for both of them. Arsenal embarrassed by the Paul Merson affair. United well beaten once again in Europe, but we have today's meeting at Highbury between these two famous teams. Also in London this afternoon, Joe Royle and his Everton side. After struggling for so long, they were trying to make it 5 games unbeaten at Chelsea. Our third match is another Merseyside-London encounter, Liverpool against Spurs. We have goal highlights from the 7 other games. Our goal of the month competition. And as ever, the acute observations of Alan and Trevor. But we begin at the new-look Stamford Bridge, the biggest crowd of the season there to see Chelsea take on Everton, who are looking for their first away win. The commentator is John Motson.
As Chelsea come out of the tunnel today, they turn to their right and not to their left. The face of Stamford Bridge completely changed by a new landmark on the London skyline. The new North Stand, built at a cost of £8.6 million and seating around 8,500 spectators in 2 tiers. 5,000 of those seats in use for the first time today. Chelsea members in the upper tier hoping this will become very much the home end of the ground, which for years was centred on the old shed that's now been replaced by temporary seating until the South End redevelopment, which is due to happen next. As for the team, well, they're keeping pace with a place in the quarter-finals of Europe and 6th position in the Premiership. 2 changes from the 0-0 draw at Spurs on Wednesday. Craig Burley is preferred to David Rocastle on the right, and up front Gavin Peacock is fit to replace Neil Shipperley. Glenn Hoddle, the player-manager, names himself as a substitute. Everton make an enforced change from the side that beat Liverpool in Joe Royle's first match. John Everell is injured, so Barry Horn moves to centre midfield, and Anders Limpar comes in from the cold on the right. Paul Rideout, who came on as a substitute on Monday and scored, keeps his place alongside Duncan Ferguson, and that means the Nigerian Daniel Amokachi drops to substitute. Robbie Hart from Darlington starts a match which marks an historic day at Stamford Bridge. Everton, in fact, attacking the new stand end in the first half, all in white. That's Duncan Ferguson. And here's Anthony Barnes for Chelsea at right back. In fact, Chelsea are playing with 2 left-footers in the full-back positions. Barnes is more naturally left-sided, but he's doing well there because Steve Clarke's injured. Unsworth. Came off Wise to Limpar. Ferguson with his arm up in the centre. Rideout slightly nearer to Limpar here. There he is, but Ferguson... Oh, now it's run on for Parkinson. Well, Joe Parkinson found himself in an unexpected acre of room there. Limpar was looking the other way and then slipped it beautifully through the legs of Nigel Spackman. The fact that Sinclair slipped and lost his boot didn't help Chelsea, but the shot certainly did from Parkinson. It went wide. Spencer. Oh, it was given away by Spackman. Now Watson for Everton. But they've given it away as well. Spencer, wide. Spencer's gone again. Eddie Newton waiting in the centre among others. There he is! Good save, Southall. Newton denied by the goalkeeper, as indeed he was on Wednesday. And this is Minto. Now Wise, and Newton tries again, and Wise tries again, hits the post, Peacock, no! Thrilling sequence of events there. Wise at the heart of it, with a pushback first of all here to Eddie Newton. The ball flies up, Wise with the overhead acrobatics. Oh, Southall was standing admiring as he hit the post, and then Peacock put the rebound wide. The goalkeeper was well beaten, but the post saves Everton. that's really got the crowd going. This is Burley. That's Spencer. Two Everton players colliding, and when you get hit by Duncan Ferguson, you know you've been hit, and the referee will be concerned about this because anything in the way of a facial injury needs immediate attention. The two strikers, Rideout and Ferguson, colliding, and Rideout coming off worse. Well, that was a nasty crack for Paul Rideout, caused inadvertently by his own striking partner, Duncan Ferguson, who virtually went straight through his face. So Rideout seems to have recovered. Joe Royle, a former centre-forward himself, would have wondered which one of his strikers called for that ball when they collided. This is in by Ablett. Limpar. Oh, and they got him free right out, and he scored. He was virtually unmarked, and Paul Rideout scores for Everton, a goal made by Anders Limpar. The Swedish player bent the cross in without having to beat Minto, and look at Rideout, there's nobody within a yard. And from the 6-yard line, Karin's got no chance. The 39th minute, and Paul Rideout, who scored against Liverpool on Monday, gets his 6th of the season here today, Everton's top scorer. And the Joe Royle era for Everton is starting well. And he must have been pleased with the service in from Limpar, the player he's recalled today, Joe Royle. This is another chance for Everton to get the ball in from the right. They've got Ferguson waiting in the centre. Also, Hinchcliffe is there now. Jackson. And there is Ferguson, and it needed a good header by Kjellberg. And Chelsea are beleaguered at the moment in defence. These crosses from the right-hand side are giving them a few headaches. And as Hinchcliffe prepares to take this one, they've got Jackson on the near post with Rideout, Watson and Ablett coming from deeper positions. And Ferguson's in there too. There's, oh, and Watson, oh, what a good clearance off the line. And again, I think it was Dennis Wise on the line there. That could have been 2-0. And the man on the post, I think it was Wise, saves Chelsea. Here it comes, and it certainly is, from right on the post as Watson came in. Wise was there. Ben Hoddle's team, just at this moment, coming off second best. This is Spencer, that's a foul, Parkinson. Now, can Chelsea turn this round right on half-time? It's a free kick. This is Wise. Kjellberg's on the far side. They've got a corner. Good defending by Matt Jackson. Now, Wise needs to get the delivery right here. Spackman has moved up as well. So has Sinclair. There's Sinclair's flick. Oh, great save, Southall. Oh, wonderful save. Brilliant goalkeeping by Neville Southall. The corner is taken by Wise, flicked on by Sinclair. That was Peacock, I think, and somehow Everton scrambled it away. Peacock. Barnes, did well the fullback, but that's Burley coming in. Corner again to Chelsea. This is definitely their last chance of the first half. Kjellberg is there, and so are Forest Everton feet, but it's corner again. Not time to take it. It's half-time, and the first half ends with plenty of incident. Paul Rideout scores for Everton, the first goal in front of Chelsea's new stand, but the first away by Everton in the Premiership since August. That's over 600 minutes of football, and he's ended that barren run. But then his goalkeeper, Neville Southall, made a stunning save to prevent Chelsea from equalising. Well, who is going to be the first Chelsea player to score in front of the new North Stand, I wonder? They're attacking that way in the second half, and they're one down. Everton looking for their first away win of the season. And that little scramble ends with referee dropping the ball. It's Peacock. Ferguson. Off for a throw-in. Rideout. And that was a miscue by Joe Parkinson, which is cleared up by Jackson. Corner given. And again, Dave Watson on his way forward, and Jackson. Oh, and Ferguson came in as well off the post. Goodness me. Duncan Ferguson holds his head in anguish. Chelsea again struggling to cope with his height, and it flew across and came off the post and stayed on Chelsea's side of the line for Karine. So now both teams have seen one come back off the post. Wise for Chelsea and Ferguson for Everton. But 2-0 there, and the home side would have been staring possibly at defeat. Peacock. Spencer. That was better from Chelsea. Kevin Peacock with the overhead cross. John Spencer challenged, just drifting the header wide. That's aimed at Rideout. He's come in the other side of Sinclair, off Kjellberg. This is Limpar. Horn. That was Ferguson, did that well. Hinchcliffe now. Parkinson's there, hits the bar. Jackson. Put up. Joe Parkinson. Oh, Everton have been unlucky on 2 attempts here in the second half. Hinchcliffe's cross, lovely header as he stooped, beat the goalkeeper back off the bar. Chelsea decide, or he decides, this is the time to use the player manager. Glenn Hoddle, 37 years of age now, comes on to replace Craig Burley. But Chelsea may have a say here yet. There goes Furlong. Spencer's nipping in, and he is in. Good cover by Unsworth, but not good enough. Wise! That's not good enough either. That's a really bad miss by the England man. Possibly Chelsea's best chance. It was Spencer that wriggled his way clear. He did ever so well with the cross, and unfortunately for Wise, it skimmed off his left foot, or his shin almost, and went wide. A bit dangerous from Sinclair. Limpar squeezed it across. Ferguson's there. Oh, Parkinson, and it was deflected. It's a corner. It's twice Parkinson's come close to opening his Everton account today. It was a volley, and it hit Kjellberg on the side of the head. So Everton have another corner. And again, it's this Watson-Ferguson threat that Chelsea have to be aware of. Oh, it's in! Right out, looks to be claiming it. Karine. No, it's not been given, has it? No, it's a free kick. The referee has not allowed the goal, I don't think. He's standing in the penalty area, and somebody's going to be booked here. It may have been Ferguson for contesting the decision. Rideout's also been arguing, and the goal does not stand. Rideout got up, it went in, but the referee saw an infringement in there. And Everton are once again denied the second goal. Spackman. And the header on, Wise is in there, this is Spencer! Good save by Southall. Well, one or two people questioned him a week or two ago, the Welsh international, but he's made two outstanding and important saves for Everton today, at least. And he may have clinched the victory with that save, but maybe not. Here's Hoddle, he's given it away to Limpar. Ferguson starts to run down the centre of the pitch, and he looks as though he might be in here. Spackman's the defender. Ferguson, oh, and a good save at the other end. A real ebb and flow to the game. In injury time, Dimitri Karine from Duncan Ferguson. That was close to being Chelsea's first goal in front of the new stand, but Spencer was denied by Southall. Spackman forward. And the header back in, Sinclair's in there, Watson manages to get it half away, and then Hinchcliffe. And Chelsea still have a chance. It's going to be Wise to take the corner. Kjellberg is up. So is Sinclair. Difficult one for Southall. And it comes out to Limpar. That little touch really relieves it for Everton. And they've got a runner on the far side of the pitch. It's Duncan Ferguson on the ball. And onside, both of them. Well, this could surely be the final act. And Barry Horn has put it wide. Well, that was extraordinary. It was Gary Ablett who made the run on the far side here. He slid it across to Horn. It was an invitation, really. And he didn't take it, but it didn't matter because the final whistle has gone. All sorts happened in the last 5 minutes. But the sum total of it is that Everton have won away for the first time this season, thanks to Rideout. It's 2 wins out of 2 for Joe Royle. And the Everton recovery has started now with a vengeance. A run of 5 games unbeaten. Southall 2 superb saves as Chelsea strove to save the game. Having said that, Everton hit the post, the bar, had 1 disallowed. And on the day their new stand opens, Chelsea troop off, beaten at home by a side whose resolution today seemed to suggest they won't be dealing with the word relegation. Chelsea 0, Everton 1. Joe, you've only been at Everton a short time, but how will you sum up the first week and a half? I mean, what have you worked on? What have you seen that's made you decide which way to go?
Probably a little bit more passion and a little bit more directness about our game. I felt that at times we were playing one pass too many when I looked at the video, and that's no criticism of what's happened before, just a personal view of how the game should be played. And as a forward, I said to our forwards, you must be frustrated at times, not knowing when to run and where to run. So we tried to give the forwards a little bit more of a chance by playing this earlier. But overall, more than anything else, a team spirit and a passion and a desire to win the game. And you can see by their faces and the performance that they're responding.
I think he's encouraging us to press the ball, and when we do get the ball, then to be confident on it and take our time and, you know, play from there. Because, as I say, I mean, he's got confidence in our ability. I think he's tried to instill in us that it's not route one the way we're going to play. We like to play at times, but also if nothing's on, we'll get it in the channels and get in behind them. As I say, and from today we created enough chances to maybe win 3 or 4.
A lot of spirit and resolution about that Everton performance all round, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, especially midfield, they won everything, and again at the back we've given 1 goal away in 5 games now, which is tremendous. We were throwing them in at the start of the season, and now once we stopped that and we started scoring again, we're getting the results.
They played well, worked hard, and caused us a lot of problems. We needed to win today, and we didn't get the result we wanted.
I mean, you've been in pretty good form recently for England, nonetheless, and yet the second half one that went the wrong side of the post, I would imagine you were a bit disappointed about.
Yeah, I was. I hit the post in the first half as well with an overhead kick. I was unlucky there, and then it came up me very quick. I changed my mind, and I've just ski-whiffed it, basically. I can't say much to that. And that's it, really.
It's good summing up. A mini revival, at least for Everton. What do you think's changed, Alan?
Well, they're defending better for a kick-off. I mean, they've lost 1 goal in the last 5 games, speaks for itself, whereas before they were leaking goals left, right and centre. On Monday night, in the victory over Liverpool, I thought they got through by total effort and commitment. But today they played a lot better, I thought. They played as a team. We used to say at Liverpool, if you go away from home, you've got to have at least 9 playing well. Well, today Everton had 11 playing well. I thought the front 2 were a handful for anybody. I thought they were competitive in midfield. They had Anders Limpar, who played wonderfully well. They defended well. And Neville Southall made 3 crucial saves. None better than this one. 1-0 down, or Chelsea 1-0 down. 5 minutes to go. And you've got to watch him on his line here, because he's alive. Look, he's alive and alert. He gets in a great position. When it comes to Spencer, good hit. It's a great save to keep Everton in front. And it really was at a crucial time. Now this youngster, David Unsworth, he's an emerging player. He was very solid today. He was exceptional against Liverpool on Monday night as well. This is his best tackle of the day. It's all about eyeing the ball. Perfect timing, because there's no room for error there. Could easily have been a penalty kick if he doesn't time it right. But for me, the pick of the Everton players today was Anders Limpar. And he was absolutely terrific. He's got 2 great feet and he's a great crosser of the ball. He's not in the picture here. When he comes in, it's a great first touch. Now Minto goes to him, and he should really take him, channel him down the line where we put the arrow. But he's a bit hesitant, gives him a little bit of time, outside the right foot. Absolutely brilliant ball into Rideout, makes no mistake. And I thought it would be difficult to surpass that excellent ball. But he does it easily in the second half. This is absolutely phenomenal passing. It's on his right foot, but he hits it outside the left peg. That is a pass you just absolutely dream about hitting. It's got a bit of side checking and everything. For Duncan Ferguson coming in, he takes it in, great hit, and Karim makes a good save.
It was like a great golf chip.
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I tried to do that in 1978, and Joe Fagan said to me, don't try that until you become a good player. Never tried it again.
What about pinging in those good corners and free kicks today?
It was so difficult to defend against. Andy Hinchcliffe, you know, he hits them in. Great variation, long and short. This is a short one, but they're all done at great pace. Just so hard to defend against. Dennis Wise gets it off the line, could easily be in a goal. The second one hits it long this time, but again pace. Duncan Ferguson up, so unlucky, hits the post, comes back off it. This time he hits it in the third one. This is definitely a goal. He hits it in the middle of the goals. Again, terrific pace, difficult to defend against. Rideout gets up, and why the referee chalked that off, only he knows. But that's an added dimension to the play as well. Corners on the right-hand side, Hinchcliffe whipping them in quick, gives them a great chance. And I think Everton are almost certain to get out of trouble.
5 unbeaten. Manchester United fans were, of course, hugely disappointed by their defeat in Sweden on Wednesday. Nonetheless, United came to Highbury today as Premiership leaders, but forced to change their team for the 20th match running. Arsenal against United then, with Barry Davies.
No question anymore about the priority for the French Lieutenants team to make it a championship hat-trick. They're still without Peter Schmeichel and prefer Gillespie to Davis. Otherwise, this is the lineup which beat Crystal Palace last week to go to the top of the table. David May again in the centre of the defence in place of the suspended Steve Bruce. Arsenal have their first choice defence and their only regular goal scorer fit, and make interesting changes in midfield. Dane replaces Swede, Steve Morrow starts for the first time this season, and Jimmy Carter, who until last Saturday hadn't played in the first team for 17 months, is reminded what Highbury is like on big match day. Kelvin Morton of Bury St Edmunds is the man in charge. Last season the fixture was an evening game which ended 2 apiece. First touch for right, but not for long. The challenge not the best, and the referee immediately shows the yellow card to Gillespie. First card in under 30 seconds of play. Right. Really did well to hold that, and the shot. Good play by Ian Wright. It had gone away from him slightly further than he would have wished, but he really held his position as Paul Ince came in with the challenge. Few studs were showing, no complaint, not a bad strike. Ince did well to collect that. Right. Certainly looks unsung. McGoldrick. Wright goes for the ball in, coming a long way to Carter. Over the top from Smith after the drop by Walsh. Smith fit again. Had a real chance then. Didn't keep it down enough. Jensen. Carter. Yellow card for the third time against Hughes for the trip on Jensen. And Cantona gets involved, suggesting an earlier elbow. Well, this is not the happiest of grounds for Eric Cantona, but it's clear what he thought. Shot was from Steve Bold. Got away on the right. He didn't really strike it as well as he might have wished. Stretched by Adams, lovely turn by Hughes. But Jensen, the man on hand. And the free kick given against David May. Five players around the ball. 3 in the box for Arsenal. Could be Winterburn. Could be a touch tomorrow. Neatly done to Wright, and it flicked away by Gillespie of all people. Very, very nearly came off. Gillespie tracked well. Must have been a bit surprised to find himself as the only man capable of saving United then. Neatly touched. Just as Wright was waiting for it to sit, Gillespie took it off his toe. Again, a physical battle. It's well won by Mark Hughes. Kanchelskis. And McClare. And Seaman able to get up in time. Well, he's seen his opposite number have moments of good fortune. Well, this time it was David Seaman's turn. It looked as though it would spin past him, but he was up, and in the end it was very simple. Bold. McGoldrick. Dixon makes the early run. And he's well found. Pallister's header. Right! Corner. And he was a long way behind. And it came off Ince. And Ince felt the power of the shot. Dickov in front of the goalkeeper. And Walsh takes it well. Dixon. Pallister. Morrow just taking Ince for a ride. Ince not too impressed. Right. Sometimes does that little shimmy when he doesn't need to. Dickov. McGoldrick. Teasing Dennis Irwin. Right! Blocked on the line by Pallister. Right, can't believe it didn't go in. It's a good deep cross. And it was well knocked back by Smith. Pallister, the saviour of United. Hughes. Goldrick sent a letter to Pallister, which he was very happy to answer. And that's through to Cantona. David Seaman did well. Excellent piece of play by Pallister. The super pass, just cut the defence. And the arm up of Adams, not for the first time. Winterburn. Dickov, challenged strongly by Ince. And the referee walks slowly across. And another name goes into the book. This is White. Minutes of the second half gone. The champions being well held. Be happy that they're not behind. The shot was from Jensen. He felt Ince at the same time as he made the shot. Here's Cantona, but the referee stops play. Goodness me. You have to say, after the challenge he made a few seconds ago, that was also of the wild variety. And Jensen cannot continue. And hopes that the injury will not be too lasting, because it was received in an unfair fashion. Free kick is United's way. Owen will take, but not, it would seem, with the shot. Up into the crowd. Morrow. Davis. Owen. Cantona with the time to look to see where Hughes was, and Hughes had a chance then. Ince. Blocked by Keown. Morrow never really had it under control. Suddenly the pace is upped. Flag stayed down, and rightly. But that really was an object lesson by Eric Cantona then. As the ball was coming down, he had that look and seemed to have so much time to make the look and set up Hughes, who had a real chance and just miscued. Right. Strong challenge by Hughes, who's already been booked and who will be off. Second season running, United have a man sent off at Highbury, and it has to be said that a sending off was likely after we had a booking inside the first 30 seconds of the game. Dive in on Morrow. Sort of challenge that Ince made from further back and got away with. Free kick is to Manchester United for the foul, initially the hip by Wright. Push by Winterburn, says the referee. The free kick comes as we move into stoppage time. Cantona. Good attempt. And a slightly hurtful landing. Strongly hit free kick. A French launch, but no reward. McGoldrick. McClare with the happy knack of being in the cover position at the right time. Davis. Trying to drill it through to Nicky Butt. Referee looks at the watch. Throw wasn't taken. Davis. And the final whistle goes of Manchester United going back towards their own goal. The hangover never looked like being cleared. George Graham will come off wondering why his side didn't win. A hugely disappointing contest which won't be remembered for the quality of football, just for the many bookings and a sending off.
Mark's disappointed. Didn't think it was even near the lad actually, but I would need to see the video of that. But I thought that it was soft compared with what was going on.
Was Mark Hughes just the unlucky man? Might it have been somebody else?
Well, it could have been, I'm sure. There were so many free kicks and so many hard challenges, 50-50 tackling. But we don't want to, I mean, it may have at times maybe went a bit too physical. But we don't want to lose the physical side of the game. I mean, the fans love commitment. It's one of the great British strengths, is a wonderful attitude to football. Yeah, let's see the skill factor by all means, but believe me, I've been on the continent and I've watched a lot of games which bore me to tears. They get 20 passes and don't go anywhere. It's one of the most popular leagues televised all over the world. And yeah, let's have more skill factor by all means, but let's keep our commitment.
You have to commit yourself or you're going to die, simply that. And that's why I'm pleased at the performance of the players in that respect. But if you, as you say, if you look at the history last year, the 2-2 draw here was just the same as today, only no goals, you know. And I think coming here for us, it's always a big game for the Arsenal fans. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, we're quite pleased.
It was too physical, though, wasn't it, Trevor? I mean, it was light years away from playing in the European Cup, a match like that.
Oh, well away. I mean, there's always a bit of feeling between these two sides, but I mean, I'm all for commitment and hard tackling, but there were some tackles there that were beyond the mark and, you know, and dangerous, and all right, 7 bookings, and there comfortably could have been sort of more even.
Now, what about Mark Hughes? He played well. He got sent off in the end. Did you feel that perhaps he was unprotected early in the match?
Well, I think, you know, we've got these tackles from behind. When you play against Tony Adams and Steve Bould, you know you're going to be in for a fair buffeting. But I do feel the challenges from behind are ones that certainly earlier in the season were being penalised far earlier. And he did have a number of these challenges where this time, you know, Manchester United kept possession, so fair enough. This one, which is only 7 minutes into the game, we've already had 1 booking, which came in the first minute. And here, Mark Hughes gets possession, his standing foot is taken away from him. For me, that has to be a yellow card. But he got up and he was willing to take that, and he is aggressive. He's no angel himself. But when he does get the first booking, which is the key one for me, look at Tony Adams when he makes the challenge here. The arm is up and then he grapples him. He doesn't get a decision there, which I think makes him frustrated. And then John Jensen gets the ball, knocks it away, and for me then stands still. And actually Mark Hughes just knocks it to the back of him. Jensen falls forward. But is that a yellow card? I mean, it's not, and it certainly isn't when I saw some of the other tackles going on for the afternoon. Of course, that was the key one, the first one, because the second one then became the red card. And this one, I think, fair enough, it was probably worth a yellow card. I think even here he gets bought by Ian Wright. It runs away from him. He knows he's not going to get the ball. All right, 2 feet off the ground, so I think, well, it is perhaps a dangerous challenge and a yellow card. But, of course, it's his second one, and he's got to go. And I still can't believe that the first booking was given.
Well, the tackles were flying in all over the place, weren't they?
Well, I think, you know, when you look at 1 or 2 of the other challenges, you know, that is why I say the first one shouldn't have happened. Because, I mean, Paul Ince, a minute before this, he got a yellow card. It comes out to John Jensen. And look how far he's away. He goes in with 2 feet off the ground. I mean, it's, well, let's say leniently, knee height, and he catches him, which he then has to be substituted. And the referee's right on the spot and decides that wasn't a yellow card. And, of course, he would have been off for the second time in a week. Look at Paul Dickoff, 2 feet going in on Brian McClair. Now, on that challenge, nowhere near the ball, he didn't again. It was a free kick, but he wasn't yellow carded. And yet 2 minutes later, he had a scuffle with Nicky Butt and got yellow carded, so again he could have gone off. I mean, it was pretty gruesome stuff. I mean, it's just as well our highlights is after the 9 o'clock watershed, really, because it was grim.
What do you feel about the Paul Merson affair? Some of the early editions tomorrow morning, the papers, they're calling for that he should be thrown out of the game completely because of the this drug affair.
Well, I think you have a certain sympathy for the player, but I mean, it's a great shame for him as an individual, but even greater shame for the game, because we've had some horrendous sort of, you know, publicity over the last few weeks. So I think if you compare, looking at Italy, where Caniggia, of course, and Maradona was suspended, you've got to have some long-term suspension because it's got to act as a deterrent. You can't have players, young players, who of course are earning big money. They're targets now for the drug situation, which is a problem with youngsters who are earning good money. So we've got to make sure we clamp down on it. And unfortunately, I think Paul Merson will have to have a long suspension.
Thank you. Before Liverpool against Spurs, goal highlights now from 3 other games, starting with Championship contenders Blackburn Rovers, home to QPR.
Don't talk to Rangers defender Carl Reddy about today's game at Ewood Park. It started to go wrong after only 9 minutes. Alan Shearer shielded the ball, twisted and turned, found Tim Sherwood. Chris Sutton was given the chance to shoot Blackburn into the lead. Any chance of Rangers goalkeeper Sieb Dijkstra making a save went out of the window when the ball took a deflection off Reddy's knee. Rangers hung on, missed chances, but lost a crucial second goal early in the second half. Reddy and Shearer battled for the ball, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other as to who might have been adjudged to have fouled. No doubt about the quality of the finish. Shearer is the first to admit he gets by with a lot of help from his friends, and it's hard to get Stuart Ripley off the ball. And it was the unfortunate Reddy that brought him down to concede a 66th minute penalty. No prizes for guessing who takes Blackburn penalties. Shearer, 3-0. Saving the best till last was the phrase that came to mind after a 4th Blackburn goal. A defensive header from, yes, you guessed it, Carl Reddy, fell straight to Alan Shearer. The England international claimed a hat-trick with a sensational strike. It rubber-stamped Blackburn's 5th successive league win. It was a victory that put them top of the table tonight and put Alan Shearer alongside Chris Sutton with 16 goals for this season. Number 16 for Shearer was rather special.
I think I might have got a telling off of Robbie Slater if it hadn't had a winning. He was there going to run through on goal with a one-on-one, but that's what confidence does for you. We're 3-0 up and I'm on 2 and looking for my hat-trick, and I thought, have a shot, why not? And sometimes I hit the top of the stand and sometimes I go in the back of the net, and luckily enough for me today, it's went in the back of the net.
We've played 16 games. We've got more points than we had last year, and because we've got more points than anyone else, we're top of the league, so we've just got to continue to do what we do.
A poor game and not an advert for the Premiership was the way Newcastle manager Kevin Keegan described today's match at St James's Park. Newcastle made all the running, but were running out of time when it was still goalless with 4 minutes to go. That's when Andy Cole, back after 5 games out injured, confirmed his importance to the Newcastle side. Ipswich had come to defend, and their tactics were blasted by Kevin Keegan after the game. But he also labelled his own side naive when, with 2 seconds of normal time remaining, Newcastle allowed the Dane Klaus Thompson the chance to curl in an equaliser. Ipswich more than satisfied with the point. Newcastle haven't won for 3 games now.
We played well enough, but to be fair, they defended well, and I think we're disappointed with their approach more than anything, not so much the way we played. We just obviously couldn't score, but once we did, that was a disappointing thing that we didn't hold on to it.
Match referee Peter Jones was the dominant character at Elland Road today. He handed out 7 yellow cards. 2 Leeds players were booked, 5 Forest players were cautioned. There was a definite communication breakdown. 1 goal settled the result and confirmed Forest are in a right rut. A deft cross from Brian Dean on the right, headed in by Noel Whelan, sent home yesterday with a high temperature. 3 points for Leeds, 1 point from 15 for Forest, and they haven't scored in those last 5 games.
Well, Spurs shored up their defence for the first time this season against Chelsea in midweek today. They were away to Liverpool. Could they do it again? Liverpool had Jamie Redknapp back in the team. Spurs were unchanged. Dumitrescu was on the bench. Commentary from Tony Gubber.
Redknapp, Ian Rush, this is Rob Jones, and acrobatically out by Mabbutt, but they haven't cleared it yet. And if Tottenham's defence are to hold out against 90 minutes of this sort of pressure, then they will have done well. Just 1 clean sheet from 18 matches. And under relentless pressure here, Barnes. Oh, it was fabulously whipped in. Swinging off the inside of the left foot by John Barnes. And I'm not sure Ian Walker could have known when it went past him whether it was going to go in or wide. Tottenham with the throw. Klinsmann trying to find himself a little bit of space. Here's Austin. Anderton, well struck, deflected by Sheringham, and that's an excellent stop by David James, because there was a wicked deflection on the ball. And James showing just how alert he is. Rob Jones, ever eager to come forward. McManaman again. Nicely through to Redknapp. Great ball in. And Walker's having a good afternoon in Tottenham's goal, and they have cause to be thankful. Hasn't quite worked out yet, Tottenham, how to get through the 3 central defenders for Liverpool. Here's Rob Jones. Crowd sensing the space that's available. McManaman. Jones tries to give it in back. They got tangled together, and it's a penalty. Campbell looks very forlorn, and I think he's got cause. The ball threaded back in for McManaman. They got tangled up together, but was there any intent, or was it just a collision? Anyway, it's a penalty. And this is just what Tottenham didn't want. Fowler from the spot. It's 1-0 Liverpool with 37 minutes played. It's no more than Liverpool have deserved for their possession and the number of attacks they've had, but Tottenham will be aggrieved that it's finally come from the penalty spot. And if Liverpool get a true grip on this match, Tottenham might be in trouble. They lost here 6-2 a couple of seasons ago, having lost 1-7-0. Here's Jones, here's McManaman. Oh, beautiful football, McManaman. And then he tried to thump it between the keeper and the post when there were colleagues standing around the penalty spot in the 6-yard box, just waiting for it. Here's Ruddock. Oh, Barnby spotted it very quickly. Sheringham, good chance here for Tottenham. Oh, poor Teddy Sheringham. He just can't convert the chances at the moment. Jones. Sol Campbell, who harried and hassled and hurried in. Here's Klinsmann. Oh, good shot, Klinsmann. It's the first strike that he's had. And it's been 50-odd minutes in coming. Howells will have to hurry. Fowler stolen on him. Calderwood's clearance has gone right to Fowler. And goal number 2 gets ever closer, but they haven't delivered it yet. Sheringham's nice touch to Howells, who gives it him back. This is better from Tottenham. Here's Austin. Ruddock was the powerful figure, and McManaman's the man in possession. Fowler. To Ian Rush, just a yard in front of him. To Bjornaby. Wonderful shot. Deliberately went for the near post. Walker equal to it. Sheringham. It's Rush. And that's Babb coming across to Klinsmann. Still Klinsmann. Klinsmann's on his feet. James is off his line. Sheringham's there, and Ruddock is saved, and Klinsmann is clutching his head on the floor, and Tottenham might feel they should have had a penalty. Well, the crowd are booing because they think Klinsmann's being theatrical, but he certainly took a clattering. Well, the crowd is shouting cheat. I'm not sure it's quite as blatant as that. I thought he had a fair shout. Barnby. Inside the fullback for Sol Campbell. It's a good ball. Oh, it's an own goal by Ruddock. Liverpool heads are in their hands. Ruddock miscuing, but it was a terrific ball in from Sol Campbell, right into the middle of the danger area.
We know what a good side Liverpool are. They've had 6 wins and 1 draw here. Not many teams are going to come here and get too much out of it. I've been working very hard for the few days that I've had defensively. We got our first clean sheet the other day, and I thought overall, although Liverpool had a lot of possession first half, we defended very, very well first half. And obviously the penalty came late on in the game. But, you know, they've had a real go, and, you know, I said that to them. If you keep getting stuck in there, keep doing the right things, you know, you get your break sometimes, and we got our break and we got our goal, and I think they deserved it at the end of the day.
Well done. Now 4 more games to catch up on. First is Norwich against Leicester.
If anybody else had walked out on Leicester this week, the bus driver would have been picking the team at Norwich. As it was, youth coaches Tony McAndrew and Kevin McDonald took charge, and Leicester took the lead midway through the first half. David Lowe working Mark Draper into a scoring position. But Leicester are riding one long roller coaster at present. Every time there's an up, there's a down just around the corner. And from Neil Adams' corner, Norwich skipper John Newsom squeezed an equaliser through the hapless grasp of keeper Kevin Poole. From that moment early in the second half, Norwich looked the more likely winners. But not until injury time did the winner arrive. The bounce of the ball favouring Daryl Such, who scored with the help of a deflection. With just 1 away point to their name, Leicester need all the help they can get. Like Norwich, Manchester City is still unbeaten at home this season. They got off to a flyer with a snappily worked 7th-minute goal against Wimbledon today. Paul Walsh, full of bright ideas, was at the heart of it. Gary Flitcroft, running free onto Walsh's careful pass, was the man on the end of it. But Joe Kinnear has successfully shuffled his pack in the last month or so to freshen up Wimbledon's act, and the return of Dean Holdsworth today almost forced an equaliser. That was as good as it got for them, though. Alan Reeves was red-carded for an off-the-ball skirmish 20 minutes from time, and 2 minutes from time, Manchester City rubber-stamped their victory. Hans Segers either made an error of judgment or he was pushing up for offside. Either way, he couldn't catch up with substitute Uwe Rosler. Nobody's scored fewer goals than West Ham United. One was enough to beat them today. A very good Coventry goal, though, nicely served up by Cook, Dublin and Jones for central defender David Boost to gobble up. It's lifted Coventry into the top half of the table for the first time this season. Manager Phil Neal should know a good winger when he sees one. I wonder what advice he could offer a fullback facing Peter Undlove, who after an injury-hit start to the season is back in the business of bringing crowds to their feet and defenders to their knees. What a goal that would have been, and could have been if he'd passed. West Ham splashed out on Don Hutchison and Tony Cottee to score their missing goals. Hutchison suspended. Cottie's now gone 10 games without scoring. A second clean sheet for Bruce Grobbelaar. In a stalemate game at Selhurst Park, it was the Crystal Palace goal that eventually came under the greater threat. Southampton hitting the woodwork 3 times in the last 10 minutes. Firstly, and most spectacularly, through Neil Heaney. These 2 relegation favourites are now both making themselves at home in mid-table. Both managers felt their teams should have won, but Alan Ball finished up with more hard evidence to support his case. Hard lines on Matt Le Tissier, whose lazy looper hit the bar, and who later glanced a post with a header. 0-0, but only just.
Now the table. Blackburn's 5th consecutive league win puts them top tonight, 1 point clear of Manchester United. Leeds and Man City move up 1 place, both at the expense of Chelsea, who dropped 2. Everton climbed 2 places after their first away win of the season. Ipswich stay bottom despite that good away point. Villa play Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow. Now, Alan, how do you see the championship situation as it stands tonight?
I can't look beyond the top 2. I think that Manchester United and Blackburn are excellent away from home. I've always said that's where you win it. You win away from home. I think Newcastle play Tottenham, and certainly that'll go against them. When they're not playing so well, they're easier to beat than either Manchester United or Blackburn. So for me, it's one of the top 2.
2-horse race, Trev?
I think it's a bit early for that yet. I mean, yeah, Liverpool, I'm not sure I've got enough depth in the squad perhaps to sustain it. But Newcastle having their bad patch at the moment, I think they can come back with their crowd, and they've certainly got the money and the buying power. I wouldn't rule them out yet a while.
Okay. Well, this special goal from Alan Shearer, one of his hat-trick of goals today, and of course Chris Sutton's one, put the Blackburn teammates on 13 Premiership goals each. Robbie Fowler's penalty keeps him top of the hot shots on 15. Well, you're about to see that Alan Shearer goal again as we bring you 10 goals from which to pick your top 3 in November's Goal of the Month competition. And here they come.
This is Kitson. Beardsley off the post. Fox can knock it back in. Beardsley with his back to goal. Oh, it didn't make any difference.
Here's Le Tissier. Several defenders in there. Oh, it's a good ball though. Ekelund, and it's a goal. Ekelund, the scorer, but beautifully made by a dummy from Le Tissier.
White. Help from 4 white shirts in the middle. Oh! But David White didn't need anybody's help at all.
Mulvey striding forward again. Oh, a good ball through to Fowler. And a goal for Liverpool. And if Fowler carries on like this, he's going to finish the season top scorer in the Premiership.
Here's Dennis Irwin.
Aldridge just got half a yard on Taggart. Sheridan, it's 3, and it's threatening to be a rout.
McAllister. Now Booth. Clear-sided goal for Scott Booth. He's done it!
Header on by Barton, and a touch here. It's Clark. What a start for Wimbledon.
Neville. Kanchelskis. Whips in an early ball. Cantona! And Cantona will acknowledge the perfect delivery.
Quinn. Walsh again. Flitcroft's made the run. Gary Flitcroft. Oh, lovely goal. Beautifully done.
And it falls to Shearer. Oh, it's brilliant! And it's a hat-trick!
Put you in with a chance of our prize of £500 worth of premium bonds, and that, of course, is the number that you have to ring. There we are, that's it for tonight. The championship leaders are Blackburn Rovers for the first time for 2 seasons. What a forward line. Shearer, Sutton, Dalglish and Jack Walker. Good night.
Snooker is the name of the game in 45 minutes here on BBC One, with highlights of the second semi-final in the